Hi, everybody. This is Drew Tomlin with the Association for Middle Level Education, and I'm joined today on this wonderful Google Hangout with Theressa Varner. Theressa Varner is a 7th grade science teacher at Arms Academy at Morningside Middle School in Charleston, South Carolina. And of course, she's the wonderful author of this article that you're checking out at AMLE magazine entitled Bridging the Literacy Gap in Science, and helping to clarify that more. A fascinating article, and just wanted to have more of a conversation about it. So thank you so much, Theressa, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Terrific. So launching right to the questions. First one, what on a personal level, what do you love about teaching science, and what did you love about the subject as a young adolescent student your own self?
I've always been kind of a science nerd, especially biology. I really love biology. I actually started out as a biology major once upon a time. Back when I was growing up, back in the day, before the days of CSI, there was Quincy Medical Examiner, and I actually wanted to be the person in the lab running all the tests. But when I was a biology major, I actually found out that I'm allergic to formaldehyde, so I kind of ended my biology career.
Rats. Okay.
But,
well, gosh, I was a biology person too, so I appreciate your passion for that particular aspect of science. That's awesome. So you clearly have a good grasp on how to do this literacy work in the field of science. How have you helped other teachers in your school to grow in the same direction, so it's not just you, so they can also feel confident with literacy in the science classroom?
It's pretty easy around here. Actually, we're a literacy-rich school. It's actually one of our expectations around here. Major focus across our whole curriculum. I'm a lead teacher here at the school, so I've participated in modeling lessons for other teachers. I participated in developing professional development activities. And I'm also the science department chair here, so I freely share my ideas and things with the department.
That's terrific. If you don't mind me asking, how did you use, I love the phrase literacy rich school. How did the school become and grow to be a literacy rich school?
We're in a low socioeconomic environment, Title I school, and a lot of our scholars come to us, below that poverty line, and because of that, are below that achievement gap where they need to be. So we had to find ways of bridging that gap, and one of the ways that we decided to do that was to focus on literacy and to try to help. And I mean, it's worked, along with, we're also a single gender school. So,
oh, wow.
Yes, that's where the Arms Academy comes from. The other half of our school is called Excel Academy, which is the girls. So it's 2 academies in one building.
Excellent. Gosh, what a lot of different ingredients in your recipe there. You've got the literacy rich school, you've got gender things that you're trying out as well. Just a really interesting but a combination of things, but clearly it's because you understand the folks that you serve and want to make sure you meet their needs. So when your students use these literacy strategies in science, how do you know that the strategies are helping? What evidence do you have, or what evidence do you collect to show you that your students are learning and achieving more?
First and foremost, we do a lot of formative assessments, a lot of which are informal, may not always be graded, but it's a way for us to CFU, as we say, check for understanding. We do that a lot, many different ways. They could be anything from just having a conversation with students, having them do a quick little quiz and hand it back to us, and we just, give it right back to them. One of the big things I do that I talk about in the article is using vocabulary and using those scientific terms. And I have my scholars all the time talk in scientific terms instead of conversational language. I don't let them use common words that they would normally say. Instead of saying something got bigger, it increased. I don't let them get away with using the common language. And I will frequently stop in the middle of a lesson and make them break down a word and give me, what the word means. Like this week we're doing biotic and abiotic, and I make them say, okay, what is a and bio? And I make them tell me literally it's, without life. Also, we use something called talk moves, and it's where I play the role of a moderator, and the students are carrying on a conversation based on a topic that I gave them. I may give them some probing questions, but I don't show any emotion. I let them just continue their conversation. I don't let them know whether they're right or wrong. The students have the ability to agree, disagree, or add to what the other scholars are saying. So it's not only working on the vocabulary part of it, but it's also working on their speaking and listening skills, which is a big part of literacy.
Absolutely. And it's even tapped into, the phrase disciplinary literacy gets tossed around quite a bit about how you use language in a specific discipline. So, not letting your students, or I don't want to say not letting, but encouraging and urging your students to use the language of the scientific field so they can hear it in their own mouths and hear it in each other's ears. And that's really a great stuff. And if I could just say, I love, it's probably commonplace at your school, but just to hear you talk about your students as scholars, like that's the word that's really great currency, I think, that you're putting in your students. Well done.
Yeah, we're also, as one of our, aside from being a literacy rich school, one of our focus is being college bound, and that's one of the ways we reinforce that. All of our classrooms have a college theme, so we've all picked a college that we represent, and so it's all part of our focus with that literacy to try to promote students to push beyond what they can be, where they're at, socially and emotionally, and to become that person that they can be.
Terrific. Yeah. So for a teacher who, obviously not at your school, for a teacher who is on the fence about bridging the literacy gap in his or her content area, be it science, be it social studies, be it math, what are some tips that you would offer to help them get started on that?
I think first and foremost, you have to realize that if the child can't read or write, they're not going to be successful in any subject. So you have to start there. And one of the things that you need to do is to build a relationship with your scholars and to learn what their strengths and weaknesses are before you can start to work on anything. Secondly, I would say to, maybe start small, focus on vocabulary, pick something that, especially in like science and social studies, there's so much vocabulary associated with both content areas.
Right.
And they learn so many new words. So focusing on just that vocabulary is a big thing. If they don't learn anything else, they've learned that group of words, which will help them. And the concept is second to that. Using Freyer models, having the students draw pictures of the vocabulary, especially I found that a lot of my scholars are visual learners, and that being able to show it in a way other than words kind of helps them. It helps them make that connection in their mind. Also, graphic organizers. I use a ton of graphic organizers in my classroom.
Exactly right. And that helps with metacognition in lots of ways. You're putting that thought process on paper in a visual way. That's really excellent. So I hope that you can help with another type of a visualizing exercise, one that we love here at AMLE, with a metaphor. Is that all right?
Love it.
All right, so literacy and science coming together. So if literacy was a food for middle level education, what kind of food would it be and why, Theresa?
It would be the protein, the meat. Proteins are the basic building blocks for amino acids, bodily tissues, hormones, and other biological molecules that keep our body running. And in the same way, literacy is the protein that builds successful and productive citizens. And without literacy, our scholars won't be able to understand the complexities of the world, and they won't be able to become free thinkers and use that higher order thinking skills needed to be a valued member of society.
Wow. That was everything. Goodness gracious, taking it from the classroom all the way to making them productive members of society. You've got the full scope and sequence. So serving up that protein, wow, that was brilliant. Well done. Well, I can tell that your scholars are fortunate to have you at the helm, Theresa. Thank you so much for everything you do in the classroom every day at your schoolhouse. And thank you so much for this article.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you for taking some time out of your day after a long day at the schoolhouse, perhaps, to talk a little bit more about it. Thank you so much, and thank you, AMLE Magazine readers, for checking out the article and this hangout here at AMLE, where we help you reach every student, grow professionally, and create great schools. Thanks again, Theresa.
Thank you.